My name is AM2020-Montalban. I'm very happy to present this poster on behalf of my colleagues. This is our disclosure slide. Last year in 2019, we published in New England Journal of Medicine that evobrutinib 75 milligrams twice per day was able to reduce the number of gadolinium-enhancing lesions after 24 weeks. Evobrutinib was generally well tolerated. We would like today to describe the safety profile of evobrutinib in the long term and also to investigate the long-term effects of evobrutinib on immune cells and Ig levels. This is the study design, several arms with different doses of evobrutinib, placebo, and one open-label reference arm of dimethyl fumarate. After 48 weeks, all patients were treated with evobrutinib 75 milligrams once per day, and then all of them were switched to 75 twice per day. I have to say that 90% of patients who entered the extension phase finished at least or completed at least 60 weeks of treatment, which is a very good number. Most of the patients had some adverse events, as we always see in clinical trials, but the majority of which were mild and or moderate, and none led to death. 8% of patients reported a serious adverse event, most frequently related to infection. Transient asymptomatic treatment-related elevated liver enzymes that we observed in the double-blind placebo phase were not observed in the open-label extension phase. And the incidence of infections in the open-label extension was similar to that observed in the double-blind placebo phase. Adverse events analyzed by exposure-adjusted incidence rate were balanced before and after patients switched to 75 twice per day. No new safety signals were identified during the open-label extension. CD19 B cell numbers decreased in all groups originally randomized to evobrutinib compared to baseline. However, mean values were within the normal range. There was no evidence of any change in T cell or NK cell parameters. IgG levels were stable, IgA levels slightly increased, and IgM levels slightly decreased, but were within normal ranges. So in conclusion, data from this open-label extension period, when all patients completed at least 60 weeks of treatment or discontinued the treatment, showed that the safety of evobrutinib was similar to that seen in the double-blind phase, that the majority of adverse events were mild or moderate, and no new safety concerns were observed. The transient treatment-related elevation of liver enzymes reported in the double-blind phase were not observed in the open-label extension after prolonged treatment or after the switch to evobrutinib 75 milligrams twice per day. Evobrutinib 75 twice per day was not associated with an increased incidence of infections, and the mean IgG, IgA, and IgM levels remain within normal ranges. Changes in immune cells and Ig levels over 96 weeks, which were consistent with those in the double-blind phase, do not appear to be associated with enhanced risk of infection. So overall, long-term evobrutinib treatment was generally well tolerated in patients with relapsing MS. Thank you very much.